Hello, this is Mark from I Am Organic Gardening, and today we're going to be going over why we use raised beds, the pros and cons to it. What we're looking at now is raised beds in my new strawberry patch for next year, for the spring of 2017. Now I incorporate some organic matter in there, and I will show you the pros and cons about that. And also we are on top there growing is some winter rye to hold everything in place over winter and also to grow soil. I get asked all the time about why is it okay to incorporate organic matter or manure into raised beds, but it's not okay to incorporate in the ground. So let's go over a different part of the farm and I'll show you why. So I'm working on creating a new raised bed so I can mix some organic matter into it and then throw some winter rye on top like I did on the other side. And this bed's going to be about 150 feet long, and I'll be planting or transplanting raspberries into it next year for production. So in this case, to have a raised bed, I can mix organic matter in nicely, and I'm not worried about drainage or have the soil create problems for me, because I will have that good drainage and I will have airflow in the soil and I will have a lot of living roots. Now the only time it becomes a problem is when you create a problem with no drainage in your soil and it goes anaerobic. So anaerobic basically means, let me turn the camera here, is when you have hard compact soil like clay. Now this does not pertain to soils that have good drainage or sandy soils, and you'll see later what I mean by that. Now when you have hard compact clay and you go to mix organic matter into that flat soil that has no drainage, you think you're improving it, and I thought the same way also too. Now there's a problem with that, is that it never really drains away, and I'll show you. So let's dig a hole first. So now we have our hole in the ground. Let's say the deepest part is a foot. Now we take that soil that we took out of the hole and we mix that in with organic matter on top. And now we're going to take that and then we'll place it back down the hole. Now I'm not going to do that right now because I want to show you why, through this example, what goes wrong. Now again, this only pertains to heavy clay soils, because if you have sandy soil, you will not have this problem. So now we're going to fill it up, and I'll show you, since we don't have good drainage in our soil, this is what the problem starts to become. Now it's almost getting to the top, and let me turn the water off. So what we really created here is a ponding effect. Now, if we took the dirt that's in the back here, and we put it back in there, that water would still be there. Just adding organic matter to clay or to heavy soils does not mean it drains underneath. So you have just like a little swimming pool or a pond. Now that's going to cause a problem for that soil to go anaerobic. And that will start causing all kinds of disease problems for your plants, in the root system especially. So I have a new saying. It's just kind of to replace the other one or to emphasize it more. When people say they're building soil, it means a lot of things to a lot of different people. So I was taught by Gabe Brown that you don't build soil anymore, you grow soil. And I'll explain what that means. So since soil is a living part of this planet, because it has soil biology, the soil food web, maybe it's kind of a wrong thing to say to build soil, because build soil, you have ingredients. You have your sand, silt, and clay, and then you can even add your organic matter in there too. So you're adding pieces. You build a house. Just like when you put seeds in the ground to grow this mustard in front of me here, that you grow the mustard from the seed. And that's the same thing you do with soil. You grow it. You try to increase the bacteria and the fungus and all the soil food web, so it creates air pockets and lets water into the soil. Then I will also explain how it's so important to have so many roots in the ground also. I have this demonstration set up for us, and I'm going to explain what I mean by growing soil. We don't build soil, we grow soil. So if we started to build soil with just organic matter, then eventually all this organic matter that's in here, this is the dark colored part, and there's sand, silt, and clay in here, that will all go away eventually over time because the worms would eat it or the biology of the soil will eat it. So the only thing left that is going to be growing the soil in the future is the root systems of the plants. Now, this root system here is a nice example, is because once these roots go down, it opens up the soil, letting air in, and I'll demonstrate that a little bit further. But the most important thing is to have that living mycorrhizal fungi in the ground, because that's going to come out of these roots, and it's going to make tunnels in the soil that are going to be almost like a pipe in the ground that's concrete. It will stay open all the time. Even if the root dies, this passageways from the roots will still be there because of the mycorrhizal fungi that grew from the root into the soil, opening it up and then keeping it open because it exudes glomalin or glomalin, and that forms like a concrete surface that's pliable, and also water can go through it, and that's going to keep all the passageways open. So we really grow soil, we don't build soil. So with all these roots in the ground, we have passageways that go down into the soil. And then when water goes down, air comes back up. And I'm going to show you that on the jar on the right-hand side. So here we have our clear plastic jar. And I'm going to add some water on top. On top is just a piece of aluminum foil with 2 rubber bands on it to keep it airtight. Now we're just going to pour some water on top of the foil here and make a little pond up there. So right now there's no holes in the top, but when I poke one small hole in there, the water should drip down. But this is the point I want to make, is that even if there's just 1 or 2 holes in there, the water's not going to go in the soil very quickly and stay there, for the simple reason is that the water has to go down in and air has to come back up. So if you just have one little hole in your soil from the plant, it's just going to go in there slowly. But if you make several holes, the air is going to come out of the soil. So with all those roots in the ground, you're going to get all that water going in, but the air down here is going to be coming out because it made all those channels. So you're going to get better infiltration quicker when it rains. So the main important thing is to have that living root in the ground so you can let water in and air out. But also that living root provides a home. Only the living root can supply a home for the mycorrhizal fungi. So it can grow hyphae into the soil and make open all those passages at first by pressing the soil apart, but then gluing those soil into place and making soil aggregates. So how powerful is mycorrhizal fungi in our soil? It is amazing. I was sent some information from Red Baron Farms, and it's an article, a scientific article, explaining how mycorrhizal fungi is so available on this planet. So, for example, one of the examples I want to show you, and that's why I'm showing you the tractor here. My tractor weighs 2 tons, or 4,000 pounds. For every person on this planet, not just in the United States, for every person that's living now on this planet, there is anywhere from 2,000 to 6,000 pounds of mycorrhizal fungi for each person. That's how much is in our soil over this entire planet. And we have degraded soil so much, but it's still there. So anywhere from 2,000 to 6,000 pounds per each person, from the one that's being born today to the oldest person on the planet. That's how much is here. And if you looked into soil, to find it, you can't even locate it with your eye. You have to have probably a microscope that goes up to at least 1,000 magnification to just barely see it. You're going to see it more in the root system first before you see it in the ground. That's how tiny it is. But can you imagine all that weight, all that massive area to create anywhere from 2,000 to 6,000 pounds per everybody on this planet? The other amazing thing in the article, which is great to read is that if something comes along and bites this plant, an insect, or something attacks this plant, it's going to send a communication down below in the root system, which is the white string below in the root system down here, and that's going to send a signal to the other plant. It's going to send a chemical signal, and there's more information about that in the article, which I'll list below. Now, it's sending that signal so the other plant can send out a defense signal to attract or to get more nutrients from the soil or to disguise itself. Now, this is just amazing to me, and more research is being done every day so we understand that. So if something attacks the main plant here, it sends a signal out to everything in the ground. So it's so important to have that mycorrhizal fungi in the soil. That's why we don't build soil, we grow soil, so that mycorrhizal fungi can stay alive in the ground. And also, I made a mistake, but I want to see if you guys can catch it. What is wrong with this picture right here that I've been saying? And if you leave something in the comments below, and if you're right, I'll write you right back. But there's something that I was just talking about, the mycorrhizal fungi. Why isn't it helpful to this scenario or this picture right here? I want to thank you for watching and taking time out of your day to do so. Let me know if you find the mistake I made. And also, too, if you can help me, I'm going to show you something that's in my barn here. I'm going to turn around. I have this hanging by the entrance or the door to my barn, and I just shut it so you don't get the sunlight in there. You can see it better. Now, this object here was on my grandparents' farm in Iowa. Now, if you can tell me what that does, there's a date on the back, and it was made in the late 1800s, I believe around, well, let's say 1893 or 4 or 5, somewhere around there. What is the function of that? So, hope to hear from you. Thanks. Enjoy your day. Oh, I should throw this in. The ears do move. So, if you let me know what this item does, it would be great. Thanks.